Hey, this is Brett Kissel, and I'm with McMahon on keys.
Mr. Kissel, welcome to McMahon on Keys.
Well, thank you for the welcome, but that whole Mr. Kissel thing, that's... Man, it's, of course, makes me think of my dad. He was a school teacher, so he was Mr. Kissel all his life.
Yeah.
He just call me Brett, or I don't know, whatever you want. But yeah, it's nice to meet you guys. It really is.
Well, no, it's. I'm glad that we were able to find time with you. I was telling you before we started. I've been hearing your name off and on through a mutual friend of ours. For a long time, that's a big champion of your music. So,
well, thank you.
I was glad we were able to find some time with you.
Yeah, no, it's an honor to meet you both. And I was thinking about McMahon on keys and what it represents, because you have an opportunity to know exactly what's going on both sides of the music business. So this fact that you're doing a podcast is really cool. And I wish I had 25 minutes in an interview to actually just talk to you about life on the road with McGraw and Chris Cagle and all the good road stories and the great venues that you played and the fun stories. So I don't know how you want this thing to go, because we could flip the script. And so I got a million questions for you too, Jeff. But,
well, thank you. I don't know. We can figure something out just at another time.
Or we just got to go for beer after. That's what we got to do, I think.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We've definitely had fun kind of preparing for this interview. I know Maddie and I have gone back and forth through a lot of things. Is this your first CRS? Have you done CRS before?
It's been a couple years since I've been back. Okay. I'm usually on a bus and touring, especially up in Canada where I grew up. Mm-hmm. So it's been a few years since I've been back at CRS. But it's such a wonderful week, for new artists and of course the big superstars that you see just on the other side of the wall here. There's a Warner big lunch going on right now, and you can hear Cody Johnson in the background. Like it's
I know, I was
anybody
just watching him.
Isn't that crazy? And that's the typical CRS scenario. As I was walking in, you heard Blake Shelton's voice, and you peek your head into the banquet room, and
he's right there.
Oh, Blake and Gwen are on stage. That's the beauty of CRS, is getting together. So I've been here quite a few times, but it's also been quite a few years since I've been back.
Right. Well, welcome back.
I love it. Thank you for the welcome.
I want to make sure that we have opportunity to break down this project of yours, and it seems like there's a lot to break down. Maybe there's not, but you've got this whole Compass project.
Yes.
Now, I grew up in Texas. I don't know if exactly what the idea for the whole project is, so you can tell us, but I know that I have found myself leaning very much to the west part of that project.
Well, thank you.
Now, as I listen to the other pieces, I've toured up in Canada a lot, and I'm listening to the north part of the Compass project, and I haven't gotten all the way through it, but it seems like that's where all the live stuff is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so my assumption is that the north part of the Compass project is stuff that has resonated on tour, at home, as you've played, which is why it's the live stuff.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. And if you're loving the West, that means a lot to me too, because obviously you're from the Lone Star State. So, there's a song in particular called "Missing You" in San Antone. That's kind of an ode to, Asleep at the Wheel, and especially George Strait. There's also a song I wrote for George Strait called "Straight Country" that I'm really, really proud of. Because, the roots of country music, there's such a great influence that comes out of Texas.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the West album, I wanted it to be really authentically country and find all the songs that I've written over the years that stay true to those themes. And I don't just like putting one or two songs on a record that are like that. I wanted to do an entire record that was dedicated to country and Western.
Right.
Because whatever the quote was, maybe it was Dolly Parton who says, my two favorite genres are country and Western.
Right.
So for me, it was important to have an entire record dedicated to the West, and I'm glad you gravitated towards that.
Well, you may just be too young to miss that, and that may be Dolly Parton that said that, but it was also the bartender in the Blues Brothers movie.
Oh, very cool.
When the Blues Brothers took over the country bar, and she said, "Oh, we play both kinds of music, country and Western."
Oh, see, I love that. Dan Aykroyd and Belushi are such great writers. Whoever wrote that would be very, very, very cool. So, if that's where it stemmed from, then that's a hilarious quote, because I think about that on a regular basis, and especially when I was piecing together the Compass Project and what it was all going to be about.
Well, and just the nature of your answer tells me that you listen a whole lot. So I'll give you this. I will not say that it was a light reference when I listened to the west part of that project. Very much thought of Ray Benson and Asleep at the Wheel.
Thank you.
If you are familiar with those guys.
I am. I got to meet Ray on a country cruise quite a few years ago.
Okay.
I don't know what country we were in. Maybe it was Grand Cayman. Maybe it was, I don't know, Puerto Rico. But here he and the band are playing, and there were so many great artists that I was excited to see. But the one that was on the top of the list was Asleep at the Wheel. And the reason why is because of the musicianship and just how they represent truly one of the greatest subgenres under the umbrella of country music. So when we did the song Missing You in San Antone, I wanted to make sure that our parts as a band, because my band played on the whole record, that we really channeled our inner Asleep at the Wheel and made sure that a lot of these songs were as musical as they could possibly be, so that if for some reason a Ray Benson or a Jeff McMahon or anybody, listen to this record, they'll be like, okay, that's, you guys did good. You know?
Well, and just because of something you said before we got started, I certainly can appreciate the fact that you used your band on your record.
Well, thank you.
Everybody didn't do that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. You look at the biographies of so many great acts that come out of Nashville. They had their live band, and then they had their band in the studio. And of course, you can't fault anybody. You look at Brooks and Dunn, Lonnie Wilson on drums and Brett Mason on guitar and all that stuff, and whether it's Larry Franklin on fiddle or whatever, but that made extraordinary records. But for me, especially in Canada, my guys that are so good in the studio are so damn good on stage as well. So I wanted to make sure we could harness the energy and bring that into the studio, or what we learned in the studio and how we cooked things up there, we can just take that out on the road. So I love my players, and I'm really proud of them.
Right. And you're on the road a good bit.
Yeah, we just got off the road now on the Compass tour that was going across Canada. We have one more stint that'll be in Eastern Canada. So we're going to do 10 more shows in some cut-down arenas there. So I'm very, very excited because, we run the whole gamut of a little bit of everything on this tour. It's going to be fun.
Are you just loving bus life?
Well, not only am I, but my kids are.
Oh,
my wife and I, we have 4 beautiful little kids, 2 daughters and 2 sons. Our daughters are 8 and 6, and our sons are 5 and 2.
Cute.
And they love the bus. Because after being on the road for years and years and years, one would say they get a little tired of it, but then you get to see the magic through your kids' eyes, because they just love waking up in a different city and living in the bunk beds, and you get to play cards, and you get to watch movies, and you get to cuddle every day. And so my kids love the bus.
Oh, that's so much fun. See, I've only been on a few buses, but so talking about that, I recently saw a video that you did, and I was curious because when you posted it, I was like, I knew you had a family too, so I was like, did he just let his kids drink milk out of the wine bottle?
Oh,
or, yeah. Like, did he?
Are you talking about my crazy bagged milk?
Yes, and
viral controversy that just got so many people upset in Canada, and so many people were on my side too.
What was the controversy?
Well, because people in the province of Ontario, that's how they get their milk. It's in a bag.
Yeah.
You get your milk at the grocery store in a bag, and everybody has a container in their house or their kitchen.
Right.
That's been passed down generation to generation. So you plop the bag in the container, cut the corner, and now you've got bagged milk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Alberta. I'm from out west. Been to Ontario a million times, but I ordered on Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I ordered some milk, because my kids need milk for the cereal.
Right.
And it comes in a damn bag. What the hell am I supposed to do with milk in a bag?
I really enjoyed it.
So I poured it into an empty wine bottle.
Right.
But then my kids are complaining because I didn't rinse it out good enough. And so the milk tastes like Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And my wife's complaining, and my kids are complaining. And everyone in Ontario was mad at me because I'm making fun of them for loving milk in a bag, which was the most ridiculous thing in the world. So yeah, tour life got a little wild.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, I never even thought about that. My thought, probably your, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that you sent somebody out at a show day to get groceries for the bus.
Yeah, get the runner to go.
Right.
in.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, who thinks you have the ability to do something with a bag of milk, even if it makes sense in a house?
Yeah, Maddie, it's like if you came over to my house and I said, what can I get you? You say, I'll have some water, please. And I put some water in a Ziploc bag and I said, here you go. Fend for yourself.
That's literally what it's like.
Like,
I know.
it's just the most, I've never seen anything. And I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, I don't know. Why would you?
Yeah.
Until you want to, hey, can I get a Coca-Cola? Sure. And I pour it in a bag for you. Like,
That's funny.
Just ridiculous. But life on the road, my kids thought it was
I bet they did.
really funny. Because
Yeah.
they also were as surprised as I was, thinking, Dad, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. We got our milk from a bag.
God, that was funny.
I know. I enjoyed your video.
Well, but to your point of the joy of seeing them do it, I did not have a lot of that joy. I never dreamed of being on a tour. I just kind of kept working.
Gotcha.
This one dreams of it.
Yeah.
So she's going to be like your kids. I have this picture where the sun is like shooting directly out of her eyes because she's excited about brushing her teeth with bottled water.
You know what? It really is like glamping. You know, it's a few steps up on camping for sure, but it is one of the things that and obviously, Maddie, you've been on a bus before, but when you get the opportunity to tour extensively, it really is a blessing.
Yeah.
Because to go from, touring with your parents, so the way that I did with my mom and my dad, driving me to every gig, and then you graduate and I've got a license now. I can drive myself. I'm a kid. I'm a teenager. I got my own license, and I'm going to drive everybody in a truck and a trailer full of gear. Where you graduate to like a Sprinter van, and now that's a new step up on the ladder, and then you get a bus, or then you graduate one level up from the bus, and you go Tim McGraw style or Kenny Chesney style, and now you're flying private.
Yeah.
Like so, or then you graduate one step further, and now you're like Drake or Taylor Swift. Now you got a 380 Airbus, like a Saudi Arabia prince.
Sure.
That's worth $700 million flying through the sky. So there's a few steps up on the ladder we all want to climb, but being on a bus is a great blessing.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's always a next rung.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun to see the excitement, and I'm glad the bag of milk freaked you out because I wouldn't have known what to do with it either.
I can only imagine. And it's only the people in Ontario that know about bagged milk. Like anybody from America or me from Alberta probably would have felt the exact same way, thinking, "What in the world is this?"
I definitely want to encourage everybody to check out the project, but I also want everybody to look this up. I pointed out, I said, Maddie True, if there's anybody in town that you can grow up to be, this is who it is. And I found something from a fan of yours that I want to share with you, and you can let me know what this means.
Do the.
Yeah.
And then pull it back.
So play that.
Oh my gosh.
And let me know what you think.
Can you hear it?
Okay, let's go to the beginning.
Hey, one of your biggest fans right here.
Great Carolyn Don Johnson.
Music and I love you. Hey, CDJ, you know me. Yay! I get to give you a little bit of a fun hello today. I hope you have a great interview with Jeff, and we love you, Brett. You're an amazing artist. It's such an honor to sing I Didn't Fall in Love with Your Hair with you.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to do more things someday in the future. Always proud of you. Always proud to call you friend. You're a great musician, singer, artist, songwriter, all the things. Guitarist.
Are you kidding me?
Person, dad, husband, friend. Have a great CRS. And you know I love you. Mwah.
Well, you guys, that is that it really is the sweetest thing.
There you go.
Carolyn Dawn Johnson, I've looked up to her for many, many years,
It's
and
hard not to.
she was one of the first to take me under her wing. There was a special event. I'll tell you a quick story in Calgary. Little city, unfortunately, the river overflowed, similar to Nashville and what happened in Nashville in 2010. And so a gigantic flood, and we did a big fundraiser. Now, I was just starting off in my career, and I was filling in for a big-name Canadian artist who wasn't able to make it. And so Carolyn had asked if I would sing a big hit, a number one she had in Canada called Die of a Broken Heart.
Yeah.
And she asked if I would do Keith Urban's part, because it was a duet with Keith Urban, so no pressure.
Yeah.
And we practiced, and so that was on national TV. And so we practiced for, a whole afternoon, and now it's the televised show. And from there, like, for her to give me a chance on national TV to sit with the queen of Canadian country music, and someone who obviously has such a great reputation here in Nashville, one of the great songwriters and everybody's favorite person, like, that is the most kind message. Jeff, Maddie, thank you very much for asking CDJ to do that. She's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, she's great. I got to do a few shows with her, playing keys for her back in the day, and yeah, it was the first thing I was like, if you don't know anybody else, you need to know her. So
yeah,
so she was, and I saw the performance that you guys did on an award show.
Yes,
which is how I knew you guys were tight. So
yeah, she's that was a very special song. We raised money for the Canadian Cancer Society.
Okay.
So we're probably at over $250,000 now raised. It's really proud. My record label, of course they want to take money and earn income and recoupable on that song.
Sure.
They've still given every single penny from the streams and the sales of that song straight to the Canadian Cancer Society. So
that's awesome.
The song's earned about $250,000 now, and we made a big impact with that song, and Carolyn was my duet partner years later.
Love that.
I love her very much.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's more to do with the Compass Project, right? I mean, that's...
Well, it's all out now, but in terms of more to do, now we're just touring it.
Okay.
Now we have the
Just
opportunity to go and tell everybody about it. So that's why I'm so grateful that you got me on your show to talk about Northeast, South, and West, these 4 extraordinary albums, 44 songs that really tell the story of country music through my eyes, and I'm very, very proud of all of these records.
They're awesome.
Well, I haven't made it all the way through it, but I will.
Well, that's great.
I will.
You pour yourself a glass of wine and
Yeah.
you stoke the fire at your house, and you
I will.
have a listen.
Yeah.
Or milk, yeah.
I
Crazy
poured
milk.
myself a glass of wine, but I drank it out of a milk jug. It was bitter. It was not good.
Exactly, yeah.
Let everybody know how to keep up with you, find tickets to all your shows, track down the rest of the music.
Well, it's very simple. Like, everybody's on TikTok right now. We're trying our very best on that platform. Instagram, brettkissel.com is a great place for you to go and check out all of my music. And then please follow me also on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, YouTube, all that stuff. And I hope you enjoy what you see. I hope you enjoy what you hear. And if you don't like it, keep it to yourself.
Man, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you,
Sharon.
sir.
Great to meet you too.
Yes.
Maddie. Yeah, thank
I'll give you a follow.
I really appreciate it. I'll do the exact same thing.
Okay.
For more clips from CRS, click the top button. And if you're interested in full episodes of the McMahon on Keys podcast, including live performances with our guests, click the bottom button. Until next time, this is McMahon on Keys.